going. All right. I would like to call this meeting of the Mount Scottney School District Board to order on this Monday, April 6th at 6:30 p.m. We are room 210 in the Windsor School. First up, any changes or additions to the agenda? I do know we're going to flip the administrative support to student presentation and learning is first.
And the executive session was 313, page 4, not page.
Any other changes? Okay, I don't see any either. Oh, Amy just tried?
Yeah.
Hi, Amy.
Hello.
Hello. All right. We're on to item 3, which is approval of minutes from March 9th, 2026. So if you haven't had a chance to look at those, please take a look at them. And
I have something on the minutes.
I'll take a motion to approve them and then we'll do discussion. So I'll take a motion to approve the minutes from March 9th, 2026.
So, second.
Thank you. And discussion, Liz?
Yeah, just that my name is spelled incorrectly throughout. So I thought maybe get that fixed now.
Sure. Do you want us just to have it Liz Frederick throughout?
That's fine, but my last name is spelled incorrectly.
Oh, it is, yes.
Yes, there's an E between the E and the.
Excellent. Thank you for pointing that out.
And yes, Liz is fine. It might be easier for everybody what I go by. It was also my legal names.
So there's an E between the
D and the R.
D and the, okay.
Awesome. Yeah, if you're cool having a Liz and your last name spelled correctly.
Yeah.
That's
So there is one, like this is correct. That's correct.
Oh,
okay. We got a fun new font on these. I appreciate that. Any other discussion on the minutes? Very thorough.
and then next time we have a reorganization meeting, we don't plan a full school board meeting semester.
We've talked about that at length.
Yeah. It was. All right. If there's no more discussion, I will. I'll take a voice vote for this one. So all those in favor of adopting the minutes, please say aye.
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 And aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right. So we have adopted the minutes.
I'll probably end up with my phone.
Yeah, as corrected. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we've adopted them with the correction. All right, next we have item 4, public comment on non-agenda items or announcements. Public comment is not legally required, but we believe it is crucial for us to hear from our community members about their concerns over issues. Through these meetings, our board models for our students how to conduct public discourse and that the board and members of our community can approach controversial issues in a civil and constructive manner. And can demonstrate mutual respect. Having said that, please note that the board is here to listen. Public comment period is not designed for discussion. Please start by identifying yourself and what town you reside in, and please limit your remarks to 3 minutes. All right, any public comment?
So big trip up to Montpelier tomorrow. What grades are those?
3rd and 4th.
3rd and 4th. Okay.
Ooh, can you tell us more about that?
Not much. I just know that I gotta get the board there a little early.
Yeah, they're gonna go check out the State House and go to a museum on site.
Yeah.
Oh, are they going to the Vermont History Museum?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I went there with my nieces and nephews last fall. And I'd never been there. It's awesome. Such a cool museum. That's great. All right, I have one brief announcement. I got a chance to go to the VSBA regional, like Windsor County group had a meetup last Thursday, I believe. It was really great to connect with some folks from Mountain Views and elsewhere in our region. And I know that I got to talk to Neil for a while. We had some great presentation from VSBA about the resources they have, and we had a chance to kind of share our collected efforts and challenges with the current state of legislation happening in Vermont around education. So it was good to learn and get to know folks, and do a little bit of kind of airing of grievances as well. Yeah, I just want to encourage other board members, keep an eye out for those things. I know that Neil Odell, who's our regional person, he's looking to do more of those. So we did some feedback deciding how we would do them. I know I'd advocated for just quarterly, some kind of small get together, but I think he's going to be reaching out about that in the next month or so. So yeah, it's pretty fun. They had good food, worth checking out. Any other announcements? So we will move on to item 5, which is our administrative report. That is going to start with student presentation and learning, which I think is this guy over here.
Yeah.
All right.
So I'd like to introduce 7th grader Gavin Hardy. His teacher, Mr. Lord, is on the call and can maybe support Gavin as he goes through or what he's done. Just a little more context about recent project they have done in class. And then you're supposed to have a couple more students who were unable to make it today, but I do have some other projects to share with you when Gavin's done. Take it away, Gavin.
All right, I did my project on the Iraq War of 2003. It was part of a class project about the Middle East in general. Next one. Yep. Events leading up to the war, just precursor events in general. During 1990 to 1991, after a long area of tension, the U.S. invaded Iraq as a retaliatory event to invasions of their neighbor Kuwait. The U.S. led a coalition of countries like the U.S., UK, Australia, Poland, a few other countries, and invaded Iraq to disperse their army and such. This action destroyed their economy, their army, and displaced a lot of their population, and fueled a long-time growing resentment of the U.S. inside of Iraq, especially within Saddam Hussein's regime. Another event that was leading up to the war or caused the war in some way was the War on Terror. After the 9/11 terrorist attacks, the U.S. launched the global war on terror, which with one of the starting events being invading Iraq in 2003 because of the rumors that they had nuclear weapons and were supporting terrorist groups. Some preparations made by the U.S. Some CIA teams entered Iraq in 2002 with goals such as convincing the Iraqi generals to surrender when the invasion started, figuring out where Iraqi top generals and leaders were positioned within Iraq, and possibly one of the more important things they did was persuading the Kurdish Peshmerga to be a northern fighting force of the invasion. The Kurdish Peshmerga were a fighting force of around 70,000 at the time that were fighting in northern Iraq for a while to try and gain autonomy or independence from the Iraqi government. The United States wanted to recruit them to their side because they had no way to get to the northern area of Iraq after Turkey declined troops being able to move through their soil. Start of the war. The first technical fighting of the war began on March 16th, 2003, when U.S. troops bombed some strategic points along the Iraqi border with Saudi Arabia. Though, despite the initial fighting, President Bush gave a televised ultimatum the next day, demanding that Saddam Hussein and his sons leave Iraq or be invaded by the U.S.-led coalition. The next 2 days were followed with many anti-war protests across the world, spiking in countries such as the United States, United Kingdom, and Australia, who were the main people involved in it. On March 20th, the first official fighting of the war began, with large-scale strikes hitting major cities such as the capital, Baghdad. Fighting would continue like this between the U.S. coalition and the Iraqi army until around May 1st, when the U.S. captured Baghdad and a lot of other major cities, which caused the formal ending of the war and the official disbandment of the Iraqi army on May 23rd, 2003. Though the Iraqi army was disbanded in May and Saddam Hussein was captured in December 2003, the fighting would not slow down. A lot of people didn't like the U.S. in Iraq, and a lot of people also did not agree with Saddam Hussein's regime being overthrown and replaced. This led to around 100,000 people in 20-plus groups fighting the U.S. coalition in guerrilla warfare for, I think it was maybe around 10 years. This ended in 4,800 coalition deaths. Some of the most notable groups fighting the coalition were Al-Qaeda in Iraq, formed in 2004. They were an offshoot of Al-Qaeda, which mainly focused on bombings, and they both hit civilians and military targets alike. Another large operating force fighting the U.S. coalition was the Islamic State of Iraq, which was formed from a bunch of smaller groups merging in 2006. And this group was also a direct precursor to the modern-day group of ISIS. The coalition left Iraq in 2003 because the main objective of setting up a new government was completed. However, they would be back in less than 2 years because of an invasion, I believe, from ISIS. This is mainly because of a lot of long hatred in the region between religious groups, such as the different branches of Muslim, and ethnic groups, such as the Kurdish and Arab people. These long-rooted hatreds is what led to the groups like ISIS, Al-Qaeda, and even Saddam Hussein's regime being formed in the first place. That's all.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you.
Mr. Lord, would you like to add anything about Gavin's presentation in class or any other students' topics?
Well, I'll be stepping down now, and Gavin will be teaching the rest of the year. But we've been sort of going around the world. It's world geography this year in the 2-year rotation. So we've been trying to cover as much of the globe as we can, and had initially planned to go into Southeast Asia, but with things happening over in the Middle East, sort of beginning right as we were about to make that step, I just pivoted hard and we went into the Middle East for that unit and really tried to focus a lot. We did a few different projects. One was based on looking at different elements of Muslim culture and looking at each of the different countries, and then really trying to give them as much of an understanding of sort of the overlapping connection with America and the history that our country has in that region, and sort of looking at the histories of each of those different nations through these projects, which would give them more of an understanding of sort of the geopolitical situation we're in now. And then we've been checking in with the news every day just to, keep up to speed and have a better understanding than we did going in. And so this was just there's a huge list of choices that the students could make, and this was the one Gavin chose, and it was really just a highlight of the presentations that I saw, and they were all great. And I think I'm hoping, and I really feel like we came out of this unit with a pretty good understanding, or better understanding, of sort of where we are as a country and where we are as a world in that part of the world at the moment. So I'm sort of rambling on. I didn't prepare my words very well. But they did a great job. And I think that's really ultimately the goal, is just, we live in a small town, and we don't all get to travel all over the world all the time. And so as much as we can sort of explore the cultures of, different places, the more worldly we are as a, as a community. So
Thank you, Mr. Lord.
Yeah, thanks so much, Mr. Lord. And thanks, Gavin. It was a really
Thank you.
fantastic
That's amazing,
presentation.
Gavin. Thanks.
I'm going to share a little bit more of the middle school updates and some other projects. So if you want to go to the other slides. Oh, there's a hand up.
Oh, Elizabeth.
Thanks. Really outstanding work, Gavin. I apologize for not having my camera on, but I'm a little bit under the weather this evening. I wondered if you researched at all. Can you hear me all right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I wondered if you researched at all what the number of civilian deaths were during all of that time in Iraq. Thank you.
Thank you. I did not, but I assume it was a pretty large number.
The next slide. That's the one. So some of the things coming up in our middle school or going on is this Thursday evening, we have our National Junior Honor Society induction at 6 p.m. right here in this room. Congratulations to Zoe Martinuke, Roxanne Kamek, Lucy Moore, Jazia Samantella, Emery Hines, and Madeline George, as well as, because it's our second year of our National Junior Honor Society, it includes our 8th and 9th graders, and we have 2 9th graders joining the group, and that is Michael Shaw and Robert Libby. So we will have 8 students inducted this Thursday night. Throughout the schools, we're having our student-led conferences. Parents are invited to come see the hard work the students have been working on in their PLPs. Next Friday, we have the day to schedule lots of those conferences, but we're also offering times after school next week. And students are sharing their goals, a little bit from each of their class growth and learning from each area throughout the year with some artifacts and pieces that they would like to share with their families to get feedback and talk about the next steps. Our 8th grade, when we come back from vacation, are going on a CCV visit, and this is access days, and they kind of do like some mini courses. If you want to click on it, Christine, it's less than a minute kind of little recap of what they do at a CCV visit. And we've been doing this for a couple of years.
CCV access days.
Well, starting strong.
CCV access days are when we bring.
I can share. So it
Middle
is
school and high school students to CCV centers to expose them to college and career pathways. They always feature mini college classes taught by CCV faculty, so visiting students can get a feel for what it's like to be in a college class. Today, we're having one focused on business, finance, accounting, and marketing, and we've involved some Vermont professionals in those areas. Really, we want students to leave access days feeling inspired and feeling like they have some sense of what's out there for them and all the opportunities that await them very soon. If you're interested in it, you can email me directly. I'm Dana Oliver, and it's just dana.oliver@ccb.edu. See you at the next Access Day.
So they offer about 3 to 4 middle school access days, and every year our 8th graders get to go. So Ms. Stanley organized their trip for the day we get back from vacation. And they'll be able to participate in the classes, have lunch with them, and meet faculty. 2 other performances coming up is our middle school theater performance. They are going to be doing a mix of musical numbers and short theatrical scenes. And they're going to be doing an afternoon performance and an evening performance, 1 p.m. and 7 p.m. We also have our middle school and high school spring concert on May 13th at 6 p.m. And some of the other pieces that are represented in these pictures here, this picture in the bottom left is also a picture that Gavin is in, that was happening in Mr. Lord's class, which was when they were having discussions on the branches of government, and they divided into 3 different groups, each acting as a different branch of the government, and had a dilemma that they all had to talk about, like why each group had different decisions to what was the pros and cons of the dilemma and why each group decided what they did. So they had to work together on that piece. Our second picture is our cross-grade learning with one of our 8th grade mentors with our 3rd graders. And we have started the 4th quarter today, so we have some new mentors coming into some of the elementary classes for the 4th quarter and hope to grow this program even more next year. Our bottom right picture is our students of the month from March. Congratulations to Lucy Fortin, Parker O'Neill, Ryan Perry, and Parker Rowell. And in the top right, we have elementary students giving Ms. Lawyer flowers for receiving the Cliff Grant. And if you don't mind, Tracy, would you like to share a little bit more about what the Cliff Grant is about?
Yeah, I have it in mind too.
Oh, then we can.
That's okay. We can, the Cliff Grant it's the year of the book, and essentially it's a large. Sure. Am I?
Now we're gonna come back to mine.
We have the same.
There we go.
The Cliff Grant, I believe it's 25,000. Destiny Lawyer applied for the grant. And we're so lucky we benefit. It's a K-6 grant, so she agreed to do all the work, and we benefit incredibly. It will drive our family engagement, we're hoping for some residencies and some author visits and a lot of opportunities to put books in families' homes. April 1st was the day we found out and we received the award. There'll be a lot of, you'll see media coverage about receiving this. There's a lot of work that goes into it. So prior to applying, we made sure we had a team of teachers ready to dig in, because there'll be a lot of work that goes to this, into this. And it's next year. We're already putting the advisory together. So today we paraded down the middle school hallway to shower Miss Lawyer with flowers to make sure she knew how much we appreciated all of her hard work. And that's the picture that.
Yeah, it is our K through 6 who are going to benefit. It is a lot of. She said about 8 books per student, K through 6 next year. The author visits, some writing workshops. I believe it's $25,000 for this. So pretty exciting. And she said there is the possibility of stretching it into a second year with what they have momentum grants, but they have a lot of options. So yeah, that was really exciting and new. If you want to go back to my slides, Christine, back us back up. So that is what we have going on currently in middle school. And then I will share with you a couple more of the learning projects. The next one of the other recent projects in our 8th grade science classes has been their Newton's laws and their STEM challenge. They were working on prototypes for the last week and a half, and they did their balloon drops today. It's a very big deal to see who makes it to not having their balloon pop. And then after they collect their data, they will be redoing prototypes, redesign, and they'll do a second test later this week. So they drop them from the back bridge, and there's definitely a cleanup crew, and some of the, I think one of the successful ones was a little bit more like a parachute design, but there were some that looked like soft crates, some had like cages, like safety car designs and things like that. Went really well today. Our next one is our career projects in 6th grade. And with our 6th graders, we had students presenting all different types of research on careers of their choice. We had pro athletes, coaches, car mechanics, environmental engineers, diesel mechanics, state trooper, fashion designers, music teachers, military, veterinarians, software engineers, game developers, performers, singers, actors, sports medicine, archaeologists, counselor, teacher, race car drivers. And Ms. Lawyer asked them to not only do their research on the career, but also to be working on the stepping stones to get there. So some students did some interviews with people in these careers, and some people were making business cards or business plans. And that is what I have to share with you this week. So, thank you guys. And thank you, Gavin, for doing that. Thank you.
Thank you. Keep going. The elementary, we held our family engagement under the big talk on March 19th. It was a tremendous success. I think there were 15 teachers, K through 8. It was wonderful. Plus people, had some students from Albert Bridge join us. It was wonderful. So much feedback from the community about just a really great night. We gave away some incredible prizes and just a real fun night. What I sent out to staff after it was just to me, a great example of when people take on small parts and you just trust your coworkers and your departments to do what they say they're going to do, and you just watch it all come together. And it was really amazing. It was a lot of fun. And then we have conferences coming up the week of April 13 to 17. We have been on the move also. The 3rd grade went to the Christian McCullough Planetarium. The 5th through 8th graders traveled to the a little snapshot of the Percy Jackson play in Heartland. It was like they got to see little clips of the performance in Heartland, and that was really well done. Our kindergarten and 2nd grade went to Lebanon Opera House, and our 1st grade has been doing some in-house travels. They went to the 3rd grade to see the trout, and they brought in some guest speakers who have been, some students in the school have been making their own maple syrup, so they brought in some in-house guest speakers. We completed our BTCAP assessment, and we're actually beginning looking at next year. We're already posting and looking at the intervention position. That's so bad. Spring is busy. So, and if you haven't, our last little follow-up to winter enrichment, Jade Ennis, who created some incredible banners. He took on a banner task for winter enrichment. And when you would go in his room, they'd be working on these letters. And I had no idea what these kids were putting together. But before you leave, if you will walk into the back hall, they are unbelievable. Yes, these banners. And this is a terrible picture of an amazing project that hangs in the bar stairwell where a lot of people don't go, but you have to go.
2 floors high.
2 floors high, these banners are, and he just did an outstanding job with, I think there are about 60 students, 5 banners with real community-driven messages. And I had to send Christine a video because they are just really beautiful and so well done. And he's already thinking about what other kind of community project he needs next year during winter enrichment too. And we've got to find a more central place because they're really wonderful. So if you get a second, really, please talk about
They look beautiful in the space, even though it's not a stairwell that everyone uses. They look beautiful.
All of a sudden, it's a great place to be. And yeah, it's often read. They're so nice. And we gave him a big shout out at the last leadership assembly with families around because they came together.
Thank you.
We're also done with most of our testing. We have a few makeups left. We finished our maple year, had a great maple festival and celebration, actually attended by families and community members come. We actually finished boiling our sap today on the stove. And we've got more than a gallon, which is great. So good fun there. Destination Imagination, we sent 3 teams this year to the state level. And one of our teams took 2nd, one took 3rd, and we're one of 3 schools that sent an early group. So we actually had 3 kids that went as first graders. And they don't compete in that way, but they get feedback and they get practice, the experience. So that was good fun. We had our science day and day of play, which our student leadership team advocated for making day of play take period science. So we actually had like microscopes and stuff out for kids, instead of just what we've done in class, which is pretty open. So lots of fun coming up. We have our fancy dance coming up. Everybody's invited. Skip is hosting it over at the town hall this year. So we're hoping to encourage lots of community members to come together. Dancing is a great way to bring people together, trying to bring a lot of that energy back. Great. We're starting our gardening unit for the end of the school year. Our kindergarten days are starting on the 19th, where the kids come in the afternoon and hang out and play with the other current kindergartners, just to get a feel for the school. We do that a few times before we have get to the end of the school year. And as we all have student-led conferences coming up, and it's just really fun to see the kids getting excited about sharing their work and deciding what they want to talk about, they don't want to talk about, is just really fun experience. Just hearing them talking about what they care about, what they value. It's fun.
Right. Kate is, everyone knows she has to get a root canal, and they get her in tonight at 5:30. She is in a lot of pain, so let's go.
So for the high school, they're also working on their student-led conferences. We're always actively encouraging participation for everyone. I know that in the middle school and high school, we have a lot of staff members who want to support students who might not be able to make an appointment with their family. We have so many support staff who say, I would love to be an audience member for our students. So we do try to help them all have an audience. March intensives were a huge success in the high school, and I know Kate and the team are looking to offer more connections to the community for next year, community members to help offer even more in March intensive offerings. This week, we have a performing arts for the high school spring coffee house at 6 p.m. And I do not know the location of the room because I know it used to be in a different room. So we'll have to find out where, but it's 6 p.m. on the 8th, this Wednesday. And then a month later, we have our high school theater performance happening on May 8th and 9th at 7 p.m. and Saturday, May 10th at 2 p.m. Greek mythology tales. Our high school just had their National Honor Society induction this past Thursday. Congratulations to Izzy Ciccarelli and Audrey McFarland, our co-presidents, Jalen Lyman, treasurer, Mars Percy, Grace Blanchard, and Jocelyn Peterson. And we have students who have been inducted into the Tech Center, and that is Bailey Athorn, Tatum Flanagan, Chase Hodgson, Allison Leary, Madison McDonald, Mia Martin, Ella Prebish, Gray Walder, and Alden Weld. Congratulations to all of them.
My turn. Wanted to start with some pictures from the trips and the March intensives that we just spoke of. We had kids all over the world. The trip that Mr. Brink Johnson and Ms. Ford came to talk to the board about Norway and fundraising for Norway. Well, they did it, and they took kids to Norway, and they had a fabulous time. They were in Iceland for a bit as well, and said the weather was not that pleasant, but the trip overall was great. We had kids who were engaged in a trip to Boston. We had kids doing college tours, kids that went skiing. There was a multimedia March intensives, and one that has to do with the Army. So some kids were investigating the Army. So it was really a great success, and it gets better and better each year, and staff put a lot of time and effort into it, and the community certainly supports a lot of the work and the fundraising that goes into it. So just a shout out to the staff at the Cape. Culture and student wellness, you heard Jennifer mention her gardening unit is in the works, and I happen to be there with some kids that were outside cleaning up one of the many beautiful flower gardens at Albert Bridge that go around the property, which is if you garden at all, you know how much work it is. So it's nice that the kids are getting involved in building culture and community together. There's some kids there working together, and it's just a shout out to our staff because they recognize how important building a relationship is, and they create opportunities for that within their classrooms, and that helps build a positive school culture. So,
Did you miss the slide before that, with pictures?
no.
Oh, that one.
Yes.
Yeah, didn't remember correctly for a second.
Yeah,
I did.
there was one picture is like, it was like flour, salt, and water, I think it was called. Mr. Beachy did it. I happened to stop in there, and they were making all kinds of things with those ingredients. So they made homemade pasta one day, and they were making bread. And it was pretty cool. Okay, so just a quick legislative update. I don't know if you've been watching the news. There will be a press conference tomorrow with House Ed. Peter Conlon will be there and some other folks. They have a bill out. I'm going to just read a little bit to you about it. So I picked little pieces. So it's Act 73 related committee bill coming out of House Ed. It is the intent of the General Assembly to work strategically, intentionally, and thoughtfully to ensure that each incremental change made to Vermont's public education system provides strength and support to its only constitutionally required governmental service. So this is a recognition that communities and students and staff and administrators and boards are saying, we know there needs to be some transformation, consolidation, but we need to do that on a timeline that makes sense and is reasonable. And so that honors that piece of that work. So the part of the bill incorporates BOCES across the state. I think there are 7 of them proposed. BOCES are, as you know, Board of Cooperative Service. I'm going to forget it.
Boards of Collaborative Educational Services.
They're changing the name to CSAS, which is Cooperative Education Service Agency. So they should be used interchangeably, but it's CESA. Okay, CSAS is a BOCES. So they're proposing 7 BOCES across the state, and then within those BOCES, on the next slide, they are going to hire facilitators responsible for facilitating study committees to study the advisability of forming a unified union school district. The committee's logic for assigning this role to the Vermont Learning Club, which is the current one and only BOCES in the state, which you're all familiar with, will be the fiscal agent to hire those facilitators that are going to come in and the community conversations. It is, from what I understand, they're going to reenact some of the Act 46 language, so there won't be forced mergers, but there will be some incentivized measures for communities to have discussions about what makes sense to consolidate or merge or close, I guess. So that is hot off the press. The language adds contingencies related to the foundation formula implementation, including requirement for modeling newly formed districts, enacted legislation that addresses how to fund the current unknowns of the foundation formula, CTE, cost of living adjustments, transportation, special education. If all the contingencies are met, and they're not listed here, the foundation formula would take effect on July 1, 2030. So an extended timeline last year. Part of that will be pre-kindergarten education has to be worked out. And so there is currently pre-K students are not fully weighted. And so as part of the foundation formula, that we have to make some decisions about how to appropriately fund pre-K. So I'll keep you updated that there's a press conference tomorrow in Montpelier. I don't know what time, but to talk through that. Let me get to the financials. We did go over them with Larry prior to our meeting. today, and they are on the website in the business department. Oops. I can make it bigger. Yeah. Okay, is that good? So there are some things that are, you know, in the black, some things in the red. That's pretty normal. It's the year. When you get to, and that was revenues, and of course we don't have all the revenues yet. There's some revenue for tech centers that Larry tried to explain to me how that works. Mine goes to the ed fund, doesn't come directly to us, but anyway, that's accounted for in there. These are expenditures by account summary. Then he breaks them down by account detail. I asked him about a couple of them.
Yeah, there's one that was like 160%.
Yeah. This one, workers' comp.
Yes. Yeah, I guess there are any of them that are substantially over 100%.
Yeah, I looked at the substitute line, which was over by a pretty significant amount. That includes our nursing subs, all of that. Sub money is supposed to come out of EPSDT funds, and he was kind of walking that back to see if that was actually happening.
Okay.
Health insurance is just up because it depends on what people take for plans.
Yep.
Workers' comp, I didn't ask him about that one. So I can look into that one too, for you. I'm not sure on that one.
Yeah, I know sometimes there's like reimbursements or other
Mhm.
funding sources that haven't come through, which is why this happens, but I
Yeah.
know it's not everything. So there's one down here that was like
Mm.
500%. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Page is that for? Yes, I asked him about that one, because that one, flagged me as well. And he said, that short-term interest, sometimes we have to borrow money.
Mhm.
We can't make payroll. And we have to pay for that. So. Yeah. Overall, we are in good shape. So I'll get into this. The projected, balance is, it will be in the budget by $800,000 and change.
Okay.
But it's not the end yet, so.
Yep.
That will likely change.
I appreciate the projection.
Yeah. But, you know, overall, his comment was, no, Scotty's in good shape, so.
Awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, I know when the cement is wet on that stuff, sometimes the numbers look scary. It's all done.
Like the special ed numbers right now, yeah, too low. It's pretty scary. Lastly, I did want to report out that we did the required radon testing in all our schools, and we have no findings, which is good news. BT testing is almost complete across the SU. We're in makeups, and one school is still testing this week. It's early, yeah.
Yeah.
And Bill, I think you were at the same meeting I was at. The state is trying to get data collected so that we can get, I believe, these scores out before February next year. The actual VTCAT scores, I think that's part of their in the data collection. So
Is that why they're doing a spring?
that's what I heard.
That's a complete hot mess.
It really is. And just the graduation dates, I know a lot of you like to attend, so we've got Windsor Middle School on the 10th at 6 and ABS the same day on the 10th at 1, and then graduation for the high school is the 5th at 7, so.
I've been doing it every time a day comes up.
And that concludes
All right. You did that. All right, so the last day. So I'm gonna learn just to put them in the first time I see them. So, okay. So it looks like we are on to item 7. Items for discussion followed by motions if needed. First up, we got community events. So, last couple of years, we've done two of the, well, I think we did one community dinner 2 years ago, and then two last year, because we had such a good time. The comment came up from, and I want to give Elizabeth Burrows some credit for that, that it would be good to look for a community event in West Windsor to kind of balance it out. I think 3 years ago, we did something in West Windsor and then not Windsor too, so it's been a little amorphous. But she had a great idea of looking into the Baked Bean Supper that happens every year and volunteering for that. So unlike community dinner, which we really have to do a lot of the kind of organizing and coordinating, that is an established group. I think it's at 91 years they've been doing it, so I think it's probably down to a science over there. I think for that, the best way to approach it is it's the West Windsor Historical Association, I think, that puts it on. Society. Yeah, we're just got the association. Their website says that there's a sign-up link and then there's no link next to it. So I will reach out to them to see if we can get an email contact, and then I'll forward it on to you all. And I think that us just individually, I would encourage you, if you're free on that day, if you can go and just kind of be a part of that and volunteer, we'll certainly have it. Fairly sure I get a day free. And that is, I think I still have it up. That is going to be on Saturday, May 16th from 5 to 7 p.m. Awesome. Yeah, Liz, if you just want to send that to me, and then I'll give that to everyone else. And a reminder for, Liz, who's new, and everybody else too, we can coordinate more stuff on that online, so we don't have to figure that all out here. That being said, for community dinner, I think I would throw out just the initial dates that we could do for that. If people need to look at their calendars later, we can take it out of the meeting. But I know Mary is looking to get those dates filled soon. Looking at this year, right now, still open as of like last weekend was August 20th, September 3rd, November 5th, December 3rd, January 21st, and March 4th. I would recommend starting from the November 5th date and moving on. I think that the August and September can be a little tough for school stuff with vacation, and that's kind of not, or getting right back to it.
Yeah, I like the November date we did this year.
Yeah, I think that's the same one we did this past year. It was the early November. So tentatively, are folks good with? And it's always, I think, the second, fourth Thursday. So I'm guessing that's the second Thursday, or first Thursday. So can anybody not do that date off the top of their head, or does it sound like a good one to aim for?
Which one was it? November?
November 5th. Yeah, it's the first and third Thursdays.
Besides, in November, you can get some really decent meat sales.
So if I'm not here on that number, I will reach out to Mary and let us know that that's good. We are early enough getting, appreciates that if for some reason, like a bunch of us have stuff come up, we'd probably move it, but I would just try to put a hold on that date. Great. Next up, we have. So
Am I the only one?
No, Tracy has one and Jen has two. Or
is moving away from education. Nurse Karen Townsend, who's
The sound, can you hear me? The sound has gone out. Can you say all of that again? Sorry.
This is Amy. There still isn't any sound.
Only I don't know what year, but there's been working here. She's been. So congratulations to go observing stuff. I think for Emily, she's been with Angie Dower for a long time in the kindergarten classrooms. Small world.
Yeah, it's very.
The, yeah, oh, right.
But we're gonna. Posting that elementary because.
Approve those, but if it's just, yeah. To Jennifer. Fly. Terrible, I'm sorry. Would be my issue. Play the whole meeting. Sounds like there would be a lag or something. That's so. Now it's. All right. We're using Christine's computer mic now. Can you hear us again? Probably hear me because I'm next to it. Yes.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Well, we're going to rely on this. You know, I'd say just people across the room speak up a little bit. No, the meeting itself is being recorded, so that's fine. But yeah, sorry, the owl like completely crashed. But if you missed anything, you missed Bill keeping me from voting to approve resignations that we didn't need to approve. So thanks to Bill for that. And yeah, I was just observing that it's three people who are very different parts of their career. I'm glad that we have them all at Windsor, and maybe we'll see some of them back here at some point. All right. Last, let's see, 6C, we have WIC liaison.
Elizabeth just asked if we can say who resigned.
Oh, yes. Thank you for catching our gaps here. It's, and these are all contract non-renewals. Jennifer,
Not non-renewals, they're not signing.
not signing. They are not signing contract.
Yes.
Thank you.
Non-renewal has a
Whole different thing.
Contract.
Yeah.
Thank you, negotiating folks. Jennifer, that would be different. Vanderveer, Karen Townsend, and Emily Fielder.
I remember when Emily started at Bridging the Gap. I told her, you should start taking classes to become a teacher. And that was
Yeah.
quite a few years ago, yeah.
She took your advice.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now, all right. I'm glad that they're hearing us now. Now we are on to 6C, which is WIC liaison. This is just something that got left off reorganization. It is nominating and approving a WIC liaison. I have been the WIC liaison for 2 years now, I think 2 or 3 years. It's been a while. Happy to keep doing it. People want to talk about, I can describe it to you. It's WIC is the Windsor Improvement Corporation. It's a public-private partnership that's affiliated with the Springfield Regional Development Corporation. WIC, a couple of really notable projects they've been involved in to some extent. I think the most noticeable is the housing units in downtown Windsor. I believe they helped to acquire those properties and worked with Windsor Wyndham Housing Trust to get that built and to find a way to pay for the rather expensive soil mitigation that had to happen. They also own a lot next to it, which I think they're currently hoping to do something similar on that one. So, they also, the rail yard area, WIC didn't own the park area, but they helped advocate for that. So it's just a group that helps make things happen in downtown Windsor. And I have been working with them for a few years. So I will take nominations to be the WIC liaison.
You're looking at me, I'm like.
I mean, anybody can.
Can you say what I know, what is the ask? When do they meet? Like, just so everyone.
Oh,
knows
yes.
what
So
the-
yeah, sorry. WIC meets on let me look at my calendar. It is early on Thursday mornings. I believe it is the third Thursday of every month at 7:30 a.m. at the Windsor Welcome Center.
In-person meetings.
Well, they're hybrid, but yeah, I've been going in person since it's nearby and I can pick up coffee on the way back sometimes.
I move to nominate the.
Second.
All right. Any discussion? I'm happy to keep doing it. I'm actually right now spearheading. They have a public art initiative. There's a lot of subcommittees of WIC, and one of them is a downtown committee. So they are looking to identify some locations and help to secure funding for some public art projects. So that's something that I sort of was directed towards and I'm working on now. So a little bit of plug for that too, if you want to be involved. It's that's happening right now too. So yeah, happy to keep doing it. All right, if there's no other comments, I'll take a voice vote on this one. So all those in favor of approving me to be the continue being the WIC liaison, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Oh, and I was an aye as well. Abstentions? All right, thank you very much. I don't think they would be super happy if I bailed in the middle of the public art thing. They'd probably just leave me in for it if that happened. Awesome. Okay, so we are on to setting the next agenda. Anything in particular coming up that we need to?
Well, I've got the tan on here, but I think that's the tax anticipation note.
Yes.
And I'm going to check with Deanna to see if it's too soon. I just vaguely remember we tried to do it in May last year. I don't know if we managed. So that's what I have. I also have a note on here that it's the high school student presentations. It's their turn.
Awesome.
And then, I think one of your board goals is, finding opportunities to engage with the community and staff. So I had on here, staff, input, topics for discussion or upcoming events. So I don't know. We surveyed them earlier in the year on topics that they wanted to bring to your attention. So
All right. Yeah, if there's any results from that that we can look over.
well, we did.
Oh, we did.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know if you want more feedback from the staff or once a year is enough, or you just want to focus on the upcoming events, community and school events,
Uh,
or just delete it from my notes.
if you know what, let's if you can send me the results of that one again, because I don't want to just like breeze past it.
Yes, the one was accessibility. Jim came and talked to us about
Got it. Okay.
that. I think that was the biggie actually. And
Okay.
cell phone. The other one was
And the cell phone policy, which we've
Yes.
gone over. All right.
And
Yeah, I
I'm
appreciate you jogging
working
my
on
memory on those.
working on procedures. I heard the board wanted procedures before they adopted the policy at the last meeting. I was
Oh,
away.
yeah, up at the SU level.
So the ad team has looked over the procedures. And I think just having a policy in place is going to be more meat behind what we're trying to do here.
Sure.
So
Yeah, I mean,
those were the things.
okay, yeah, if we've covered those pretty effectively to date, I think that would be something, you know, with our retreat coming up, we should look at that again and kind of wrap our heads around it. But yeah, I don't think we need that at that meeting in that case. Anything else that we want to cover? All right. Well, there's nothing now. If you think of something between now and then, you can always shoot me an email or shoot me and Christine and Lori an email, and we can get it on there. Okay. All right. So that brings us to we do have an executive session tonight, and I believe that's going to be board and Christine only.
Yep.
So, all right.
So everybody gets to go home at 7:32.
There we go.
Lucky. Yes.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Make up for last time when we were there for late.
You could have balanced these, right?
Oh, yeah.
This is long. Just lingers. Yeah. Anyways, whatever this is, this round is not.
That's probably what Elizabeth has too.
I feel like you've been sick like the last 3 times.
I
I've seen you.
know, it's been once in January, once a month. February.
Well, Jen had pneumonia.
Well, I mean, here's hoping like
Bad.
here's hoping you're done.
Pictures for this?
I'll fill you in.
Okay.
Thanks, Liz. That's off.
Right.
I'll stay too late.
All right, let me stop the recording. Do that first.
Nope.
All right.
We need to vote.
Good. All right, there you go.
All right. So thank you, Bill, for reminding us we need to vote to go into executive session. I will take a vote to go into executive session under 1 VSA section 313A4, and that is.
I think it's 2-4, but let me just double check.
Oh, at A24? Yeah.
It is
I have it.
VSA 313 A. No, it was A.
Nope,
Did I say
A4.
A4?
Yeah, and that is a disciplinary or dismissal action against a public officer or employee. All right. And we'll do roll call on that, starting in the room with Bill,
Aye.
Megan,
Hi.
Amy,
Aye.
and Elizabeth.
Aye.
All right, and I am an I as well.
All right.
And then I think we have one.
Yep. Okay.
All right. Having exited executive session at 7:46 p.m., I will take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All right. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Aye.
We actually voted on whether or not to leave this.